The Buccateers podcast is a proud member of the TSPN, the Times Square Podcast Network. You can catch our podcast in a number of outlets, including Apple, Google, and Spotify, and timesq.com/podcast. You can follow us on Twitter today, your Super Bowl champions updates, and more at Buccateers. Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a fantastic, perhaps the best edition yet of the Buccateers podcast. We are now officially deemed champions. I'm your host, Tampa Tones, and we're joined in by a lot of great co-hosts today, including Cody, Bucco the Bruce, and Tampa Stunna. Yes, that's what we're referring to in this episode, at least, because we got the rings on our fingers. We got a lot of good talk to have about the game. Bucco showing his ring. We'll bring him in here in a minute. But that day was incredible. It will be forever entrenched in my heart, forever engraved in my memory. It was just truly a beautiful day, one of the best days to be alive if you really are a true Buccaneers fan. I mean, you felt every emotion that day. I personally said, I said on our live show Saturday, I don't think it's going to be close. I said, I think it's going to reminisce the other Super Bowl double-digit game. And that happened. That followed suit. I didn't predict this crazy of a game. I predicted a 9-point game, but as we've seen, it ended a lot different than a 9-point game. Tom Brady played so good. He had trouble walking today. That was awesome. In the boat parade, Tampa changed the parade platform forever. I want to talk about that as well in this episode, if we are going to have a new wave of championship parades. But without further ado, bear with me, guys. My voice is still a little shot. But without further ado, we're going to welcome in our, fellow championship co-hosts, Bucco the Bruce, Tampa Stunna, Cody G. How the hell are we tonight, fellas? It's a couple-day remove, but I'm still feeling fresh as a freaking champion.
Hey, champ. I'm good, champ. How are you, champ? Let's go, champ. You are all champions. We are all champions. Let's go.
Long time coming. 18 years we've waited for this. Awesome feeling.
Totally stoked.
Yeah, totally stoked indeed. And, a lot of other Bucks fans, Bucks podcast, everyone around Buccaneers Twitter is amped. Besides the Saints and Maniacs podcast, the Buckamaniacs podcast, but that's another story to get into.
Look, hold on. I got to stop you right there. Do not reference anything that loser fucking Levin does ever anywhere on
Had to
this
bury
platform.
him. Had to put
Fuck that, bro.
Had to put the hatchet in. Anyways, people are finally Bucks Twitter is at peace again almost. It's like the night before Christmas, all through the house is silent. It's just beautiful. Everyone's happy. Everyone's smiling, celebrating. No reason not to. We had a great championship game. The defense brought it. The offense brought it. Even our special teams, well, besides the return they had, played pretty dang good for a change, which is actually really good to see. And then it was just an awesome night. The celebration was fantastic. The team looked so happy. Every player from Sean Murphy Bunton to Tom Brady to damn Ryan Griffin, Blaine Gabbert, you name it. Everyone was so happy. And I just want to know how your guys' feeling was. Cody, we'll start with you. As you were in Tampa Bay, how the hell did it feel when the clock struck 0 and we were deemed champions?
Man, the vibes were just awesome. It's like everybody we were at was family. Made new friends up there that night. We were obviously lit, to say the least. That whole place, crazy, just a crazy vibe driving back from there, getting on the interstate, cars honking, flags everywhere. Just the entire vibe in Tampa, man, it was just perfect. I'm so glad we decided to go down there.
Yeah, Bucco, I know you tried to get down there. How was your Super Bowl day? How were the vibes at your household?
Oh, fuck you, Cody. I should have went first. I didn't get to go to Tampa. I got to listen to a guy tell me how the vibes in my city, where I'm fucking from. I got to hear someone tell me about it. Nah, but real talk. Yes, but life gets in the way sometimes. Me and my six-pack of a family, we were stuck here in the A watching the game, but I'm going to tell you, We didn't miss anything. We had a fucking blast. The food was fantastic. Y'all saw the spread on Twitter. It was delicious. I drank an entire bottle of Uncle Nearest bourbon by myself. Well, I gave a couple shots out at Victory, but let me tell you, we had as you can hear, my voice still sounds like shit. I yelled at the TV like a madman for 3.5 hours. Um, I got to share this with my kids. My kids got to see this. You know, my oldest being 14, none of them were alive for us to win a playoff game or do anything of any meaningful success. I got to share this with my kids for the proud dad moment. That made it all worth it, bro. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, Stunna, how about you? How was soaking in the moment, the glory, the championship in general? Bucco and Cody had great stories. I'm sure you soaked in the moment yourself as well.
Yeah, I went to my brother's house down in Ruskin, and my brother and I, we've been season ticket holders since 2000. We went to the playoff game in '99 versus the Redskins, and the next year we got season tickets. And my mom was with me as well as my daughter, but she was kind of acting up. But it's hard for little kids to sit still during a football game.
They won't.
Yeah. But it was like it was just great, man. Just family time is always the best time, and to be around, my family and watch the game, it was really special.
Yeah, family time is the best time, especially watching the Buccaneers with your family, winning the damn Super Bowl. It's truly incredible. Or being in Tampa, either route you go, you just can't beat it. Even being at the game, one of our own in Red and Pewter, Mr. Kunal was at the game, and it looked Kunil. It looked unreal, man. Him and his dad were at the game, the upper section, but it looked like a hell of a time. That
Yeah.
ticket is priceless, man.
Yeah, I bet that made up for him losing to me in the Super Bowl for the Red and Pewter Fantasy Football League. Hell of a consolation prize there, Kunal. Good job, buddy. Way to be.
Yeah, that just looked really, really fun, and it was a great time in general. The weekend was a halftime show, but let's get into the game a little bit more before we talk about a couple things. The game itself, Tom Brady, vintage Tom Brady. He stood out. What can we say, Bucko? I see you grinning. What do you got?
Dude, they said this man had no arm. They said he'd be falling apart before the end of the season. I'm looking at that game in that Super Bowl. Most specifically, the pass that I was like, wow. In that second quarter, that post in the end zone to Gronk. Now, granted, for that play to even happen, that offensive line gave him the cleanest pocket I think I've ever seen to step up in. But he made a laser dart 30-yard of a throw right between the numbers. And 43-year-old guys aren't supposed to be able to make that fucking pass, dude. In the height of the moment in the Super Bowl, Tom Brady showed up. Yeah, he was on the 21 and 29 for what, a 201, I think. So the numbers are like, wow.
3 touchdowns, though.
The 3 tutties, the no turnovers, and the zip on the ball is there, gentlemen. 43 be damned. I'm telling you, my fat ass is getting on that TB12 plan. I got to do something because I want some avocado tequila. This dude is doing it, bro.
Yeah, that avocado tequila had him feeling some type of way. I think all of us need a little bit of that. All of us should have a little bit of that. And the biggest number you pointed out there, Bucco the Bruce, was turnover-free performance from the quarterback position. Something that's hindered us for the past couple of decades now is, coming hand in hand at the hip week in and week out. We don't really have to worry about turning the ball over too much. And the running game was incredible, but we'll get into that in a little bit as well. Cody, how were the vibes of the GOAT? You were actually in Tampa. The vibes around Tampa, how is everyone feeling about Tom Brady winning the City of Championship? Were there a lot of Tom Brady, fans out, gear out? I know you have a big head in your background of the GOAT right now. Kind of explain a little bit how perhaps it changed from just a football, a Tampa town to a Tom Brady town with a Tampa town.
I think it's just he brings a calming calming effect to the team, to the fans, to everybody. Like you got Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Like even against Patrick Mahomes, who's gonna like? You're stupid to vote against him. The place where we're at was probably about 90% Tampa fans, maybe 10% Chiefs fans. And Chiefs fans were talking a little for a minute, but it was pretty quick. They didn't have anything to say. It was like you said.
Fuck up, bro.
Yeah, I mean the numbers don't just jump out at you, but no turnovers, and then little things like hearing stories about him sending text messages to all the guys night before the game. We're going to win this game. Just stuff like that. His leadership, it can't be questioned. What he brings to a football team is just special.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a really good play he drew up, or whoever drew it up. But that pass to Joe Haig, that offensive lineman dropped the touchdown.
So disappointing, wasn't it? Oh, so I needed the fat man to score.
Cameron Brate.
Yeah, his one time to shine went down the drain. Stunna, impressions and thoughts about Tom Brady and how he really elevated this Bucs team to get in their second Super Bowl and making it look rather easy along the way.
Well, that Super Bowl had Tom Brady written all over it from our perspective. Like Bruce said, he was only pressured 4 times the whole game. All the touchdowns went to Tom Brady recruits. It was 2 to Gronk, 1 to AB, and 1 to Leonard Fournette, which was a handoff. All those guys came to the team to be playing with Tom Brady. And if you remember, we did the podcast before the game. My prediction was Bucs 31, Kansas City 28. So the offense of the Bucs pretty much did what I expected them to do. But the defense for the Bucs was really played above their heads, and it was really just awesome to watch because, I think all of us are on Twitter. We put up with the BS Kansas City arrogance, and it's really nice when you get the humble, someone like that.
Yeah. Turn up that humble pie.
Yeah, humble pie indeed. And I want to point out one thing really quick. Stunna mentioned the Brady recruits. I want to kind of go about how big of an impact they played in the game a little deeper. Rob Gronkowski, a lot of people had money on a certain Rob Gronkowski bet to score the opening touchdown. That would have paid greatly if you did have that bet, as that sat at 14-1 odds. So that's just incredible. I know a lot of people who had that one. I had Gronk anytime touchdown, which is still pretty favorable odds at 120-1. So if you bet $1, you'd win $1.20. So, Gronk was a big time commodity betting wise before the game, and he paid off in the actual game. 6 catches, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Some thought he should have been the MVP. Leonard Fournette had an incredible game. 16 carries, 89 yards, 5.6 yards per carry to go with the touchdown, and 4 receptions for 46 yards to go with that. And then AB had 5 for 22 and a touchdown. So, guys, every single one of these dudes played a huge role in the Super Bowl, and now they all really do want to come back. But what are the odds that we do run this back with the same squad, at least nearly the same squad in Tampa?
And before you go to that, but one thing you have to understand, the stars of this team, the stars of the offense were already established. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin's ability and their achievements within this team had already been well established. So, yeah, defenses took Chris Godwin and Mike Evans out of this game, which allowed for our role players, call it what you want to call it, Gronk, AB, Fournette. Those guys were role players within this offense. They were not key cogs. Rojo was a key cog. Mike Evans, Godwin, Brate was targeted and had more receptions than Gronk. You get what I'm saying? These guys were important, yes, but they did not come without the defense showing double coverage to Mike, double coverage to Godwin at all times. Like Mike Evans didn't get allowed to be breathed. He only got 2 targets. One was a catch for 30. The other was a PI that was blatant. They tried to say it was a bullshit call, but no, the dude fell down and then tried to tackle Mike, reaching out, grabbing his ankle. Either way, moving forward, yes, it's important to have these key guys on the team, but those key guys had the success they had because of the attention that was paid to the stars who were already here. That's the point I want to make.
Yeah, but the thing with that is, I mean, we don't win a Super Bowl if we don't bring in the Gronks, the Fournette.
And again,
we've seen the Evans, we've seen the Godwins, and they're great guys, but they just didn't get the job done until these guys were here.
and that's my point. Everybody talked to me about Sammy Watkins. Everybody talking about Mecole Hardman. Everybody talked to me about Clyde Edwards-Helaire and how if we double Tyreek Hill or we do this to Kelsey, those guys are going to tear us apart. Those guys did not one fucking thing. Well, the rookie running back did have like 7 yards of carry, but they were too arrogant to run the football, so that's not my problem. But the key is their role player guys that they had, their Mecole Hardman, their Sammy Watkins, who are our, Gronk, AB, whatever, they didn't fucking perform. Our guys did. Hence, we're the champs.
The champs indeed, and no matter who the contributors were or who you guys view as the key cogs, everyone was equally important on this team. Everyone played just as big of a role, and it was fantastic to see. Cody, incredible performance. Any that standed out to you in particular, stat-wise or just, phenomenal-wise based on any particular plays or anything?
Playoff Lenny, he had a big game. Obviously Gronk with 2 touchdowns. Devin White, who I thought would win MVP, I said he'd have 10 plus tackles, a turnover, and a sack. I don't think he had a sack. He was real close on one. So, but a guy who I think might be like for the entire playoffs is SMB. Like he was locked up with Tyreek Hill quite a bit, like even one-on-one, like going back and watching that game, and we didn't hardly hear Tyreek's name called. Like he had an interception every other game. Like it's like the whole team stepped up at the right time. Playoff Lenny, playoff SMB. Like it just, I don't know. All of us in here said, we just need to get hot by the end of the year. Get hot by the end of the year. They did that. We went on the 8-game run, and that was a wrap. There's just too much talent on this team. I think it's just no true off season, COVID. And then you're bringing in a bunch of new guys. It just takes a little bit of time, even with that much talent, to get the chemistry. And I think it just. Even the coaching staff, Byron called a hell of a game. Todd Bowles, I don't think he can call a better game against the Chiefs than he called. He just the exact opposite. A lot of dime wasn't. I think he only blitzed like 5 times, which that's not like Todd Bowles at all. And I know they had a lot of backup linemen in, and people are acting like Chiefs fans are saying it's the thing. Well, y'all knew you had backup linemen in. Y'all were all still picking them to run us.
Yeah.
Everybody. Even so, I don't want to hear about the backup linemen now. That wasn't a problem until y'all came and got your ass whipped by us. So
to tell Ross Tucker or Max Kellerman, you fuckers said it doesn't matter who's blocking. Mahomes is Superman. He's gonna get it done. Yeah, don't use that as your fucking crutch when you used it as your platform. Bums. I thank you, Cody, for saying that. Thank you. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, real quick to elaborate what you guys on, then Cody, you could chime back in. Kurt Warner even said today, there's plenty on the film far beyond missing a couple of linemen that the Chiefs just flat out played bad, and they missed a couple of things, and the Bucs played good. It went farther than a couple linemen being hurt. It went farther than, a couple penalties. It was that the Chiefs really did have some miscues and play some bad football, and the Bucs really did play some really good football. That's what Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback, said, Super Bowl champion, said. I'm going to take his word on this over the pundits, and as Cody and Bucco said, a lot of people here said, oh, Chiefs, doesn't matter who's playing, doesn't matter who's in their lineup, they're going to win this and that. So, Cody, I agree with you, man. I mean, people are going to be eating their words after this one.
At the end of the day, like you said, Tampa showed up to play. The Chiefs didn't. I think I saw some of what you're talking about where you're saying they were lined up out of position, stuff like that. Like, that's nothing to do with the bad, that's on y'all. They got outplayed and outcoached. I mean, offense and defense. They could not stop us on offense, and their offense couldn't do anything versus our defense. The backup lineman, sure, but that was fine versus the Chiefs. They lost 1 game this year. They was fine versus the Bills. Like, no, again, they need to give our defense credit. I don't care who was out there. Our defense played one hell of a game.
Chris Jones is a $15 million a year, 3-technique player in this league. He was going against a second-year undrafted player named Aaron Stinney. Aaron Stinney
from James Madison.
His ass. Stonewalled him. Say it. He got one play. Him and Frank Clark got together on that one sack. Outside of that, the $30 million at that position did absolutely fucking nothing against an undrafted rookie and a rookie. So miss me with all the excuses. Give some credit to this team, man. This Bucks team came to fucking play. We had a plan and we executed. If I would have told you gentlemen Saturday when we did this, Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich were going to outcoach Andy Reid and Spagnola. What the fuck, y'all would have told me I was crazy, right?
Yeah,
No, but it happened. You got to tip your cap, bro. Period.
It was so bad with Bowles. Like, was he playing possum? Have we been fucking with people all year? Like not fucking with them, but holding back. Like, just holding back, maybe not showing everything we got. Like that's how bad it's looked. Like throughout the whole playoffs, really. I don't know.
Ask Tricks. I said this to Tricks. I said, look, after that Detroit game, I said, honestly, bro, I think we've just been fucking with people. I think we've just been trying shit out and waiting for this run. I said, we're not going to lose another game. I said that, week 16. So we're not going to lose another game, dude. This team, we got it. We are what we think we are. I said that way back then.
Yeah, you did. You really did. It was one of your first times on the pod, being on the pod, I believe, when you went on and said that. Stunna, to add to your point, you said Aaron Stinney, James Madison. We had 3 guys from James Madison on our roster win Super Bowl rings: Josh Wells, Earl Watford, Aaron Stinney, all reserve linemen. Stinney ended up starting. Wells ended up being on the roster the entire year, and then Watford was on a couple weeks during the playoffs, all awarded rings. It's just a great feeling to find all this offensive line depth from anywhere you can. Stunna, I want to get your thoughts on Aaron Stinney. What did you see out of him this season that you liked? And, I got blocked for sticking up for Stinney on Twitter against the Madden guy who ranked him 54 overall, which for those unaware of Madden, I don't play myself anymore, but that means that you're a 54 out of 100 rating. That means you're really bad. That means you're an F. That's what they gave Aaron Stinney.
You suck.
It doesn't matter the background to him. No, the guy's justification to that overall to me on Twitter was, oh, this is only his 3rd or 4th game starting. They've had rookies in the 80-something overall. Colin Kaepernick didn't play football in years. He's an 88 overall to begin this year, something crazy like that. Aaron Stinney is a 54 overall. I'm trying to defend him. I get blocked for that. Stunna, what are your thoughts on Aaron Stinney in this Madden situation?
Man, that guy has been a homer. You got Swami, you got Equipment Guru. The Equipment Guru likes Dallas. Swami likes the Patriots. You notice the Patriots defense on there is juggernaut, and they suck this year. So it's a lot of bias going on with them ratings. Mo and I have been on their butt for years over that stuff, man, and they're just so arrogant. They're not going to listen, and they've just decided to disrespect the Bucks. They will give Brady props because of his New England background, and that's about it, man. But that's something we deal with. But it's a lot going on right now, man, with the excuse fest for Kansas City. And, like I told you earlier, I got put on a 12-hour warning because I got into it with some casual talking about the penalties at Green Bay, trying to say that the referees were on our side. I just sat there and watched that Green Bay game again on NFL Network, and Green Bay was getting away with all kind of crap. Okay, their first interception, they had back-to-back defensive pass interferences that were ignored. Okay, the one on Godwin before the interception and the one during the interception on Mike Evans. So it's really sad. And then the injuries, we were without both our safeties against MVP Aaron Rodgers, and everyone seems to ignore that. But they want to bring up the injuries of Kansas City, which Kansas City was supposed to be the juggernaut that nobody could touch anyway. So they're just making excuses. But the penalties is really the one that gets my crawl, because there were so many penalties that Kansas City could have got called for that they got away with. So they're talking about, oh, they had all these penalties. Yeah, that's because they came out chippy and tried to fight us, and we're playing dirty. So you're going to get penalties. I mean, why don't you just show some class and play straight up? Which is something Bruce Aaron said today at the parade. Is that we played right. We played trash teams like the Saints that were cheating the whole time and trying to play dirty pool with us, and we played them straight up, and we played them with respect, and we respected the game. The Green Bay, we beat them at their house for the title. I mean, they can't say nothing. Okay, they were the number one seed, had home field advantage for the playoffs, and they were hosting a freaking NFC Championship game. They got something to say, and I ain't hearing it. And then Kansas City, you're supposed to be the defending world champs. So what the heck you got? And then you want to come out and play dirty, and 32 should have been ejected. He ran into that female referee before halftime.
Oh, no doubt. And I was multiple bump-ins with refs after that holding on the mic. Which, look, Ward held Mike Evans. He tried to fucking butt fuck him. Okay? Legitimate hold. Those you calling it ticky-tack. No, he grabbed him by the waist and pulled him to his body. That is sexual assault in most states, except Pittsburgh, of course. But still, let's be honest here. The game we matched them on their physicality and exceeded them on their physicality. We outplayed them. Period. There's no other explanation that can be had. For those of you crying for the Zebras, talking about ticky-tack penalties, go back and look at the penalties. Every flag that was thrown was legit. Now, I will admit, I'm not going to be biased. When we had that triple sack on Mahomes where Sue, JPP, and Shaq all came together on him, and we had a sandwich, and someone put him in a headlock and contorted his body away. That could have been roughing the passer. That really could have been. And then when Tom threw the touchdown to AB and went beeline to fucking Tyrann Mathieu, was all in his face, making contact with him, that could have been taunting as well. I'm saying there were instances that didn't call on us, but they would not have affected the outcome of the game.
What about the missed face mask against us?
Yeah.
That would have been.
I'm just saying we can go on for days. I will never be that fan that puts the fate of the game into the hand of the Zebras. No, bro. You literally ran 72 plays of offense. You scored 9 points. That's it. You probably.
And you could play the what-if game about anything then. You could play the what-if game about anything then. If you're going to say, oh, what if that call went different? You could have said, oh, what if Rojo's ball really crossed? Oh, what if, he got it and blah, blah, blah. What if Joe Haig catches that touchdown?
You know what my D-line coach told me in high school, Tones?
What?
This is what he said about what-ifs. He said, if your aunt had a dick, she'd be your uncle. I don't care about your ifs.
Yep, damn straight.
Don't hit me with that. And I've lived by that mantra my entire life.
Exactly. You can't play a what-if game because then it just opens up a whole can of worms, and then before you know it, the fucking Kansas City Royals end up in football somehow, winning the Lombardi Trophy. An improbable scenario happens when you open a can of worms. Shout
out to Coach Jimmy Anisawa, by the way. What's up, Coach?
Hey, one penalty from that game that I really loved was the taunting of Antoine Winfield. That was the most savage moment. That's like right up there, Bucks history. Like go down. I ordered the wife and I a shirt with him doing that. Like such a savage moment. I loved every second of that. He earned that shit.
I ordered the Gravediggers SMB shirt.
He went a step further though. Did y'all see him with the WWE chip belt? Full circle. Travis Kelce last year at the Kansas City parade had the WWE Championship belt. This year, Week 12, Tyreek did the flip with the deuces. So to make it all the way full circle, he had the chip WWE belt and Chuck the deuces to say, fuck y'all, and I love it. I'm good. That's the type of pettiness I'll sign up for all day.
Oh, yeah.
That's what football is, man. These are grown-ass men full of testosterone talking shit. This is football. Let's get more of this, please.
Yeah. I saw a different angle where you could see Tyreek Hill's face. He's smiling. He likes it. Like people are making a big deal. He knows. He did the same fucking thing, and he'd do it again too. Like he gets it. He liked it too.
No, but here's my problem with it, Tones and Cody and tell me if y'all caught this. So I watched that Week 12 agonizing fucking game. Tyreek Hill doing backflips, throwing up the deuces. They are really giving like gymnastic scores to his flip. Oh, what do you give that? I give it a 9.9. They had no problem with it. Winfield hugging up deuces. Oh, there's no place for that in football. That's just Bush League. Shut up, bitch.
Yeah.
They didn't like it because it was against their team they picked.
There it is.
Yeah.
Tony Romo's ironic. The CBS crew's really ironic because they knocked Antoine Winfield for doing that. They're like, oh, why would they be doing this to Tyreek Hill, knocking a man when he's down? And then next thing you know, Tony Romo and Jim Nantz are right there saying, oh, talking about Andy Reid's son and Andy Reid, and they're getting killed. The irony of that, the CBS, to me, they didn't have their best game. I'm usually a Tony Romo guy. I was not impressed with the game they had announcing. I think they played a pity party in the Kansas City Chiefs' hand. I think they tried to make the Chiefs sound like the upper echelon team, and like the Bucs are kind of just this average team that got lucky. I just wasn't a fan of the broadcast of the game, in my opinion.
I think Scotty Miller got in Tyreek Hill's brain anyway that week.
Yeah, that conversation about the fastest player or the race in the league, Tyreek Hill, Scotty Miller, who would win that race? I mean, it was just a fun week, a fun couple of weeks.
Dude,
and that's
I was watching, real quick, I got to tip my cap to Todd Bowles. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm still hyped. I'm watching that game, and we did not run our 3-4. We did not run our 4-3. We were running a 2-4-5 defense pretty much that whole night, which is a rarity. Todd Bowles does not run that often. But we were running 2 downs, 4 linebackers, 5 defensive backs with Edwards, with Whitehead, and Winfield on the field at the same time. And they were breaking up balls. They were in people's faces. They were making plays. Dude, this is honestly, Todd Bowles pulled some rabbit out of the hat shit and did even though I knew what was going to happen. We were going to get consummate pressure. We were going to get constant pressure on these hoes, and they were going to have to think quick, and that little trickeration stuff wasn't going to work. And, man, I just want to tip my cap to Todd Bowles and the rest of you 8 teams around this league that had a vacancy that didn't hire my guy. Thank you for being idiots. We got this here, man. Why not run it back? Or, excuse me, Bruce Arians said, don't say no run it back shit. It's Kansas City bullshit. We're going for 2. We're going for 2.
We get 2.
Yeah, Bruce wants it too. He said he wants to, and then he'll see when asked about, retirement or whatnot. He said, no, hell no, I ain't going anywhere. I want to, and then we'll see. I love BA. We've all been BA advocates for the most part this entire season, especially I know Stunna and myself were vocal about it way back when in May. We declared ourselves as Bruce's Bandits. I found that tweet today, so that was kind of cool going back and, seeing that we did declare our fandom a BA all the way back then, and that we sided with him. And a lot of fans were coming at BA all season saying he doesn't have this team discipline. He didn't pick the right coordinators. Byron Leftwich's game calling. Why doesn't Bruce take over? Yada, yada, yada. Bruce is a man with the master plan. It's Bruce Arians, 2-time coach of the year, once with the Colts, once with the Cardinals. This fantastic guy who's been in Pittsburgh, been all over the place, really just set this team up for success, and we've seen the success happen right before our eyes. So Super Bowl 55, amazing. As Bucco said, Todd Bowles, this defense came ready to play, and that attributes to Bruce giving these guys the fluidity to coach how they want to coach, and at the same time Bruce being the figure in their ear to push them over the top, give him that great coaching ability. And I really do think that Todd Bowles will be the successor to Bruce Arians one day in Tampa.
I agree. And look, let me go out and say this to whoever will listen. Bucs fans, can we not take this as a lesson as we're not smarter than the head coach? We all called for Byron Leftwich's head. when it's 3rd and inches and we're throwing 30 yards down the field. I'm guilty of it too, damn it. I'm not calling out just you. I'm calling out me. Let's just for a second take it. Bruce had trust and confidence in that guy, didn't waver, didn't falter. And Byron Leftwich caught one hell of a fucking Super Bowl, boys. We had them off balance the entire game. Fournette, Rojo, the only ones that didn't ball were Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And I guarantee you, they are
And
not
Scooter.
crying about it. And Scooter didn't do a fucking thing. Either way, they're not crying
He
about
got
it.
negative.
They're not crying. They're a champion. And Byron Leftwich called a hell of a game. Todd Bowles called a hell of a game. Bruce Arians said it. I didn't do a damn thing. I just made the best staff in the league. Hey, I'll take it, Bruce. Thank you, buddy. Shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing with these Bucs players. None of them are selfish. As Stunna chimed in, Scotty Miller actually in -3 yards, but he doesn't care. He's a damn champion. He's a fucking champion. At the end of the day, they're the greatest damn thing in sports, a champion of the world. You can't beat that. You can't beat that.
We definitely got less selfish at the quarterback position.
Yeah, I mean, we're already hearing about these guys, renegotiating contracts to get guys like Godwin to stay, to get guys like Sue to stay, Shaq Barrett to stay. You already heard Mike Evans. You already heard Tom Brady. They're already saying they'll take pay cuts. They'll renegotiate. This team wants the band back together.
Look, Cody, I know you're about to say something. I'm sorry to jump in on you. I got to say this. So actually, I'm waiting for this topic to come up. If our two leaders, Mike Evans and Tom Brady, are already telling you, hey, we're going to restructure, we're going to pay cut, we're going to shift money around so we can get this whole gang back, you know what that's going to breed to is guys like Godwin, guys like Shaq Barrett, guys like Levante saying, oh, shit, Brady and Evans is going to take less to stay. I got to take less to stay or else I'm a dick, right? The camaraderie, the brotherhood, the championship bond, the example being set by leadership. Like, look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has this propensity to want to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. Bitch, you're making $40 million a year, and then you have the nerve to complain of why you don't have enough talent around you other than your $120 million receiver. Bitch, because you're going for $40 million a year, Tom Brady just trolled the Atlanta Falcons and got all of his incentives and made $28.3 million. Take that, Falcons. But still, Aaron Rodgers made over $10 million more than Tom Brady. And then has that propensity and the audacity to complain about not having enough talent around him. The unselfish behavior set forth by our leaders is going to follow suit and have a trickle-down effect. And I honestly think that everybody except Shady McCoy is coming back.
Real quick before Cody goes here, let's not forget Cam Brate did this last offseason. Cam Brate restructured his contract. Cam Brate restructuring ended up in either, a LaShawn McCoy, a Leonard Fournette. However you look at it, Cam Brate restructured his deal to stay with the Buccaneers. We created cap space because of it. We signed good veterans like Ryan Suckup, McCoy, Fournette. At the time, not the sexiest of names. They're really good players, like Bucco said earlier. They're good, chips to a team, role players. And we got them on board because a guy like Cam Brate restructured his deal. And now this year, we're seeing the same thing happen. But as Bucco said with the bigger leaders, the big boys. So if a guy like Cam Brate did it last offseason, if guys like Evans and Brady are doing it this offseason, no one should be selfish and thinking otherwise. If you have a long-term contract on this team, I think players are going to be doing that. Coming up with ways, money any ways possible to keep this team together. Cody, go on. Finish your thoughts.
I was going to kind of touch on the same things. I remember we talked about who we thought would be back, and I said back then I thought McCoy and Lenny would be gone. But after seeing some of Lenny's tweets, I thought he'd go get a big payday, and deservedly so, big payday. And I get it. Running backs, they don't have long, careers. But after seeing some of his tweets, I think dude really wants to be back. Like you guys touched on, when you two your biggest leaders on your team are already restructuring, it just sets a certain precedent. That and the fact they just won a Super Bowl, these guys want to run it back. So I think I think we're going to see a lot more hometown discounts than we were thinking. I don't know if there's a way to literally get every single one of them back. I still think Godwin probably gets tagged, but I think most of these guys are going to be back. I really do. I don't think McCoy will, and I appreciate the leadership he brought, but we don't need McCoy anyway. So,
And I think Godwin's okay on a franchise tag of somewhere near 14 million. I think he's okay with that, dude. Straight up.
yeah.
I think he'll be okay with that. And then I'm even seeing today, Adrian Peterson is putting out Instagram stories holding up a Brady jersey. He said, "Hey, I want to come to Tampa if y'all want me." The ring chasers are going to come.
J.J. Watt, we've heard.
Hey, dude, I'm just saying, if these guys choose to be selfish, we can grab some ring chasing veterans and make this thing stay afloat. But look, ain't it beautiful to be in this position?
Amazing.
We got OJ Howard on his 5th-year option, going to be healthy. Gronk, break. Dude, we have so many weapons. Even if we are to lose a guy like Chris Godwin, retain AB, I don't think we lose much, man. Tyler Johnson played very well, man. I'm just being – we have a month before we have to digest this shit. We still have a whole month to relish this before we have to really face facts. But if our ownership and our GM have drunk as hell, mind you, made videos saying we've been given the resources to bring everybody back, and for some reason we don't bring one of you back, that's on you, the individual, not the squad. Period.
The one I'm keeping the biggest eye on is Shaq. Like, he is in line for a huge payday, and like I'm not like ranking these guys like, you know, how I feel about them, but as far as who I think out of our free agents most important, I think Shaq's number one. I love Levante. I love Godwin. No disrespect to them whatsoever, but if you can't protect the passer and rush the passer, it doesn't matter who you got, you know, playing wide receiver, linebacker, like those are the two number one things. We've got to find a way to get Shaq Barrett back. So just the fact he's already talking about, you know, coming back, he wants to be back is a good sign. Levante, there was never a doubt in my mind that he was going to sign anywhere else. Levante is going to be back. That thing, him coming out saying he wants to be the highest paid linebacker in the league, I didn't believe that for a second. Yeah. He even said that. Like,
I blocked that fucking clown, JPA George. Whoever you are, I never saw a tweet you made before ever in life. But once you made that one, you got blocked by the old boy Bucco. No, I guarantee you, Shaq and Levante are 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
The two guys I'm worried about not being here, seriously, the only two guys I'm worried about being a problem are Godwin and Sue. Sue, if he recognizes I'm 35 and maybe it's time to play for the veteran minimum, I can see him back. But Sue and Godwin are the two outliers. I think everybody else is back, including AB.
I can see Sue retiring. Perfect time for him to retire. You know, he seemed kind of on the fence. And then Godwin, I love Godwin. I hope he's back, but we're just so deep at wide receiver. Like you said, Godwin's a special player, but AB is almost assuredly going to be back. And then we've got Tyler Johnson, who seems like he's developing something special. So,
I think that I think Godwin gets gets a franchise tag. I think Shaq is possibly gone. Sue said in the Super Bowl interview that he wanted to come back to Tampa, so I can't see an issue with that. Although he was like the last one to sign last year, but he wants to be here this time. So.
And we paid him $10 million, Stunna. We're not going to do that again. I promise you.
Can't do that. Does anybody know about Suckup? Is Suckup still under contract? Or
Suckup was a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nacho is a free agent.
Okay.
Yeah, Nacho's a free agent. Obviously, some guys like Ryan Griffin's a free agent. You know, your LaShawn McCoy's a free agent. There's some lesser guys. Joe Haig's a free agent. You got some lesser veterans who are your free agents. But if guys like that, I mean, Nacho is a guy you would want to bring back because his high-end energy, his nonstop motor, and his, his great love of the game and his affection of the game. He stepped in great when Vita Vea went down. Our run defense didn't miss a beat. Our pass defense, obviously.
Pass rush sucked.
Yeah, it really reflected it. I mean, you know, when you lose Vita Vea, it's going to reflect things. But Nacho's a good role player, but that's a guy who could go get paid after winning a trophy. You know, he could go – he could sign a 2-year, $8 million deal, which we can't afford, obviously.
He's another one I could see leaving just because he put together enough good tape that, like he said, he could probably get a starting job on quite a few different teams, and chase to be a starter and get paid. I would have to respect that.
And
I mean,
I agree. I think Ryan Griffin's going to do the same thing. I think he could be a backup quarterback somewhere, make 1.5, 2 million a year. I don't think we're going to pay him that, especially with playing Gabbard around. If he sticks around Tom Brady, there's no reason to pay Gabbard and Griffin when we're going to try and keep the whole roster around. And you hope next year that you don't need 5 quarterbacks just in case for COVID. Nonetheless, you are listening to the Buccateers podcast, a proud member of the TSPN. We only got a couple more minutes here, a couple more questions here, but it's a Super Bowl celebration episode. We've been excited, and we just kind of want to say we're not going away this offseason, not at all by any means. We're going to still be at you guys. We kind of figure it as this: big events, we're going to do live stuff, start a free agency, NFL draft, schedule release. We'll be with you guys live along the way. We'll also be live once a month. We're never going to be sure what day in the month, but, you could catch us live once a month doing a nice long show, recapping things a month. And then perhaps weekly we might do 20-minute giblet episodes, little things here and there, nothing crazy. But your Bucks content will remain here. It's not going anywhere. It might be more sporadic, but it's going to be quality in the off season. We're not used
Who knows?
to.
That might even help you bums learn how to draft a fantasy football team. You never know what could happen.
Yeah, this guy's on top of the world for winning a free league. Congrats to you, buddy.
Hey,
I did beat him both the games we played too.
hey, but did you make it to chip?
No, I did not.
No.
Kunal done you a solid, took me out of there.
Yeah, no, but that was a lot of fun. And for real, it's going to be a fun off
You're
season.
basically a New Orleans Saint, is what you are.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty
He
much.
just got his Saints call out. And I actually,
claiming them meaningless dubs.
I was thinking that in my head, but I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to be that guy to
My buddy tweeted out that the Saints put up a banner and the Raptors had beat Tom Brady twice in 2020 regular season. They put a banner up for that, bro, because they ain't getting no fucking Super Bowl banner. They got to celebrate what they got to celebrate.
Well, they've had I forget his name. He's not important, but nonetheless, the day after the Bucks won the Super Bowl, the Saints player tweeted like, "Oh, I'm sick. These fools won." Blah blah blah. Bro, you got ran by the Bucks, so that was funny. Anyways, guys, before we wrap it up, before we end it, I just want to talk a little bit about the parade. Thoughts on the parade today? It looked like a great little boat parade. It looked like a fun time. Our own A-Cats is at the parade. He had so much fun that he couldn't make the pod. He had a good time.
He must have caught that avocado tequila Tom threw off the boat.
Or did you guys see Rhett there from the Fire Cannons podcast? Yes. He brought a goat on a boat.
He brought a goat on a boat and named it Tom Brady.
And then,
legendary shit, bro. Good shit, bro.
You had Port Richie Lou magically find vacation days at work. You had a lot of magical things happen today. It was great. Obviously, none of us are directly in the city of Tampa, so a lot of us can't do this on a regular daily basis, but we see the things, we know what's going on, we live them from where we're at. So guys, we live vigorously through the boat parade today. Lightning fan or not, we've seen that was a success the first time around. This boat parade was even perhaps more of a success this time around just because they knew the optics of it. They knew how to run it because of how the Lightning did it and how the Lightning perfected it. So the Bucks were more prepared, a little bit more of a direction. Do you think this changes? I know some cities don't have water. It's going to be hard for some, but for the ones that do, at least, I mean, you could do a lot more stuff on the water in boats during a parade. Guys, I think this is a perfect end to a championship season as a boat parade. A lot more fun to me than a street parade. And Rob Gronkowski still went to Disney World.
I mean, what it is for us as Floridians, for us as Tampa people, it's another way for us to flex on the rest of the country and say, hey, we're better than you. We have water everywhere. We're a beautiful peninsula. We can do this shit in shorts in February. You can't. Well, look at us. We're better than you, and we fucking know it. That's why I love it. And drunk BA giving a fucking speech at the end of it and getting a Gatorade bucket poured on him, that's my fucking spirit animal. I'm here for every bit of that. Let's fucking go. Let's do it again.
Cody,
Bro, seeing the videos, man, it's just so awesome seeing the videos. I think the chefs and Killa lives in Tampa, so they're all out there today. But the wife and I, we were like, man, why didn't we just stay a few extra days? I'm so jealous. I
Book
wish I
another
was doing
$500,
so bad.
Cody. It ain't like you spent a whole stimulus check already.
You could have spent that moth in your wallet, for a couple hotel nights.
Fuck the mortgage, right? Fuck the mortgage. Stay a couple more days.
I'm gonna sell a couple kidneys or something. I don't know, liver maybe.
College fund? What college fund?
Fuck them kids.
What'd you say, Stunna? What you got, buddy? What's your takeaway from today?
Stunna? Oh, there you are. I thought I'm
here. What was the question?
What did you think of the today's feeling in general? We celebrated a championship. You're in Florida. It was a boat parade. What were your thoughts on not only the parade, but just the feeling of celebrating a damn championship today?
The city's on fire, man. It's like the real Bucs fans are standing up. We could finally, take some pride in our team. And it is hard being in a city where the fans don't support the home team. And, we got all the transients and all the fair weathers. And it's really refreshing and it's really inspirational what's going on in the city.
Yeah, and guys, last question here before we wrap up and close out with our Twitter handles. I know we discussed it in the live show on Saturday. We asked at the end if there would be Disney appearances. It wasn't the full-fledged experience, but Gronk did go to Disney. Did anyone happen to catch that? That was pretty classic. With COVID, it was a little different. It was fenced off and whatnot. But Gronk was having the time of his life. Gronk was loving it. He's like, I'm in Disney. You had Gronk at the Magic Kingdom with the castle behind him, having a good time answering all these questions, waving to fans and stuff. Did any of you guys happen to catch any of that and kind of see Gronk living in the moment, enjoying himself again, having a lot of fun at Disney?
Well, let me speak for those of us with a gaggle of kids who have spent $3,000 to $4,000 on a damn Disney vacation that was extremely overrated. My stomach gets turned when I see Disney videos. So, no, I didn't catch it. I didn't give a shit. Fuck Walt Disney. Yeah, all of it. Sorry. I'm not a fan.
I got 3 kids. I feel 100% like Bucco on that. Fuck a bunch of fucking Disney World. Fuck that place.
Disney.
But I will say Gronk he's an awesome dude. So I'm sure that was cool seeing him.
Oh, he's a character, man. I do, honestly, am I the only one that hated those guys for a decade, but now all is forgiven and I love everything they do?
Yeah, I rooted for them a lot in the Super Bowls.
Yeah, I rooted for them too. I rooted for them pretty much every Super Bowl that the Patriots played in, honestly. So I don't agree with you guys there. I was a Patriots advocate when they were in the Super Bowls. I rooted for Brady. I rooted for Gronk. I respected winning. I respected the best of the best. I don't know how you don't like the best of the best, because when you watch a game of football, you miss it when it's gone.
I had to watch Jameis Winston. I don't know what the best is. Leave me alone.
Oh, Lord.
Florida State fans often don't know what the best is, sadly.
Absolutely, especially lately with a 3-win ass. Absolutely.
No, but for real, I want to smack the shit out of both of y'all because Disney's a great place. Okay?
Only a guy from Naperville thinks Disney's a great
it's
place.
Way overrated, bro.
I don't got kids.
No,
I don't got
you
kids,
go
man.
spend $4,000 and you walk around all them goddamn parks with them kids.
You could do better, but
it's great.
That's your first.
It's a small world. After all, when I hear that song, I want to punch people's.
That's your
children
first
in the face.
mistake. Is not going on the
hate that
cruise. Not going on the cruise is your first mistake, buddy. You got.
Hey, I got a hot take.
You got to get yourself on that Disney cruise ship.
What's the
Fucking
hot take, Stun?
Yeah, the Epstein's Island, right?
Oh
Hey, I got a
no!
that would be bad. Epstein
No, that was
Island,
too
that would
much.
be bad.
that was part of the tour stop.
Stunner's statements are his own and not a reflection of the Buccaneers podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Just a disclaimer.
I got a hot
Just a
take for y'all though.
disclaimer.
Check this out though. Brady done ruined the game because now all the quarterbacks want to be GMs. You got Rodgers wanting to be a GM.
Russell.
You got Deshaun Watson wants to be a GM.
Russell Wilson.
Now Russell Wilson is complaining about his O-line. He wants to pick his own O-line. He wants to be a GM too. So Brady done ruined the game for all these young quarterbacks.
No. Now you even got all-pro right tackles threatening to hold out and demanding a trade because they want to play left tackle. What kind of shit is going on? Something has to – the Texans got to put up a stand. Someone's got to put up a stand and tell these players, no, we got to stop this shit where it starts.
Yeah.
Jacksonville lets him do that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, so Tom Brady, I'm not sure. I know he influenced on who to get and what to get specifically with Gronk, and AB. But a lot of it, I think Jason Light wanted Tristan Wirfs more than, he traded up for him. I know Brady wanted help, but perhaps Tristan Wirfs, and we could talk on and on about Wirfs, but next episode or eventually, I want to talk about how lucky we got with Tristan Wirfs being the fourth of the best of the big tackles. Remember that whole debate back in the last spring? Oh, what tackle's going to go first? Tristan Wirfs jumped out of pool. Everyone thought he was going to go one, or not number one, but you know what I mean? The first tackle off the board. Next thing you know, he lasted. Jason Light traded for him. Incredible. There goes Bucco the Bruce, guys. It's just
Our drafts have been awesome the last 2 years with BA.
Our drafts have been
Yeah.
incredible with BA. Specifically, like you said, the past 2 years when he's been here. And with Jason Light, he was a little off before BA, but with BA, he hasn't missed much. We've had a lot of good things happen with BA. Boys, any last words before we close out tonight?
I just had an awesome time down there with the Red and Peter group chat. I hung out quite a bit with Melanie, her boyfriend Julius, Killa, his girlfriend Lydia, the chefs, Mike. I don't know. I wasn't here with my family, but I was down there with the group chat family. It was an amazing time. I cannot wait to get back down there and do it all with you guys again.
Yeah, Stunna, any last words or thoughts before we wrap up this celebration episode?
It's been an amazing season. I wish we could do more. I would love to go to Cleveland for the draft, but it's just hard times right now. But with hard times, what do you got? You got family, and we got our Bucks family, we got our Buccateers family, and we got our Bucks Twitter family, and we got our real families, and it's just a great time to be a Bucks fan. And to me, it's all about the real thing I really love is just kind of like when we beat Philly, we beat back in the day, we beat the arrogance of them. For us to run through Green Bay, the Saints, and Kansas City, three of the most arrogant fan bases, and just to wipe the smiles off their faces has just been an awesome, awesome experience.
Yeah, I really agree with you. And in a weird way, like you said, this is, COVID, obviously not a good thing, but it led to a lot of great Bucks friendships and families, like the Buccateers podcast, the Like Red and Pewter group chat. As you said, it's all family. It's just been incredible what's been able to do and what fun has been able to had as we beat these arrogant fan bases, as Stunna just said. Guys, it's been an incredible episode, an incredible night. We'll be back real soon. Not sure yet, but we'll be back real soon. We're going to try and still do 15 to 20-minute episode clips a week, and then we're going to come at you once a month live with live streams and for big events such as free agency and the draft. And really, once summer hits, we'll be back at this full time once we got training camps, practices, yada, yada, yada underway with these Buccaneers. It's been a blast. We had Bucco the Bruce, Cody G, Stunna, all the great co-hosts besides ACATS. Other than that, I'm Tampa Tones. It's been an incredible time, incredible episode talking Tampa Bay. Until next time, the Buccateers is out.